for clicking on the video. So I'm back here in the woods and with my dog. I've got a few tools. Well, the only things I really have are an axe, and that's all I need is the axe, a bit of string, and I've been to buy a load of thatch. Why? Because I want to improve the roof on the shelter. On this side of the shelter, you might remember about 2 years ago I put a tarp over it, and the idea was to put debris on top of the tarp. It's worked fine, but I just want to improve it. I want it to have a bit more of a natural look. So that's why I'm going to be putting this thatch on the roof today, and find out exactly why I'm doing it at the end of the video. Although I've only done this once before with Mike from TA Outdoors, we did the roundhouse and it was a big learning curve. I'd never built anything like it before. I'd never used thatch or reed before, and I can roughly remember, now being 4 years later, I can roughly remember how to do it. So don't expect it to look too tidy, but it should provide a lot more insulation in the roof, and also it's definitely going to be keeping the rain out of the shelter. So it's 3 days later, and I've got to be totally honest with you, this is really, really challenging. When I did the roundhouse with Mike, there were 2 of us, and when you're thatching, you really want one person on the inside of the shelter, so the one on the outside can pass down the rope or the cordage in order to secure it to the inside of the shelter. That way the thatch doesn't fall off. But try doing that on your own, and you soon realise how difficult it is. As you can see, I've done this side, I'm doing this side, but I've changed the method. What I'm doing now is I'm getting each bundle and then I'm halving it. I'm putting wire around that one half of the bundle, which has been split into 2, and then I'm laying the bundles onto the roof, starting at the bottom and then working my way up, almost in a tile formation. Look, for those that are thatchers or know exactly how to do this, look, I'm trying to say I'm not a pro. It's my second one I've ever done, first one I've ever done alone, but the most important thing is that the thatch is secured to the roof and there's no leaks. If it keeps the rain off, it's doing the job. It's a primitive-ish shelter, and I'm giving it my primitive touch. Right, let's get back to it. And just to explain exactly what it is I'm doing, I've got the bundle, I've split it down the middle with this crowbar, I've threaded some wire through and I've twisted the wire onto it to secure it. Now I need to do the other side, or the other half, so I'll thread this through, bring it around there, flip this over, and then I'm going to give this a little twist, and now using some pliers, very bushcrafty, pliers, I'm then pulling it out and then just giving it a good twist, and what that's doing is it's just securing that bundle right there, and then I just give it a little trim like that. I bend these down a bit and then bend this in and push that into there. So I need to do the same on this side. And once I've done that, I know that this bundle won't fall apart once I untie or once I cut this bit of cordage. And there we have it, 2 of these bundles. And this, I just flatten it like that. And then when it goes on the roof, it spreads out nicely. So once these are all on, layered up, I've then got these sticks. You can't really see them. I'll show you one shortly. I've got these sticks and I put the sticks all the way through, pinning this thatch to the roof. Well, pinning this thatch to the sticks, and then the sticks are then tied down to the inside frame of the cabin. And then after I do that, I just use these. These are called spars. I go in with this, and it just secures it all, holds it in place in case that frame or in case that stick comes undone. Again, just whack those in there. And the spars I was talking about, that is these. They're pretty much hazel lengths that have been split into maybe quartered and then slightly twisted and then bent. They're quite springy. It means that when you pin these in, they want to open up and it kind of holds everything in place. So that's the traditional way of doing it. I am using these as well as a bit of wire, probably not so traditional. But what I want to do is make sure that what I've spent my money on stays on the roof. Speaking of money, well look, first of all, these are the spars. So when you buy these spars, you get them in packs. I think there's like 50 in here. There's 50 and I've already used about 45. So I've bought way too many of these. I bought lots and lots of thatch, and I bought what are called the liggers. So the liggers are these lengths of wood. And a moment ago, I mentioned how I was putting the layers of thatch on the roof, and then I was getting these, and then I was inserting it all the way through, pinning each bundle of thatch to this, which is then, and then this is then secured to the frame. So I've got a question for you all. This is a comment in the comment section question. How much do you think I've spent on thatch, on these and spars? Give me a total figure, and I want to offer whoever gets the nearest to it within a week. I'm going to send you like a little bonus bundle of merch. A cookser, a firelight, a fire steel, some lanyards, things like that. I'm going to send you a bundle. So my question to you is, how much money do you think it's cost me to thatch this little cabin? Remember, it's probably about 3 meters by 3 meters. I'll give you a clue. There's 3 figures, okay? So I've just finished the second layer of half bundles that I've been putting on the roof. There's one layer there, another layer there. I've secured each layer or each bundle with a spar, which are those hazel pins, and you can just see how secure that is. Although I still need to put this through it, and what I mean by that is the wire is right there. I'm going to go just below the wire, which means that this can't slip off. Although it's nice and secure anyway, it means I just put that in there and then I push it. Oh, that's tight. So it's gone all the way through. All I've got to do now is tie a bit of cordage to this and tie it down into the main frame. And you can now see how there's almost a ridge. So there's going to be a stepped ridge. There's one here, one there, there will be one there as well. But to even it all out, what you do eventually is you just try and pull out the bottom half of this one, which is quite tight, and it just allows it to blend in a bit. I don't know what it's called. I think it's called dressing. So I can push that top bit up, or using a piece of wood. Well, here we go. Let's go. So using a piece of wood, I can push up those top bits, and it just spreads it nicely, giving it a good even angle going all the way up the roof. So I'll probably tidy it up at the end. In the meantime, I'm going to do this third top layer. And if you're wondering about the ridge, well, I've got lots of cedar bark. I want to put a cedar bark ridge on the very top, because I've not seen that done before, and why not? I've got the resources, so we're probably going to do that. Right, so you know when you start a project and you think, yeah, that'd be fine, it'll only take a few hours. Well, I really regret doing this because I'm definitely out of my comfort zone, especially doing it alone. But the most important thing, like I mentioned before, is that the roof, the thatch is secured to the roof. The rain hits the thatch and it runs off. That is the aim of the game. Again, it doesn't look tidy, but it's gonna keep me a lot drier than it did with that tarp. Although the tarp was pretty good, but it still created a bit of condensation where those dips were. Well, hey, if you don't try, you don't know. I've tried and I know next time, don't do it alone. Well folks, that is it for this very, very short video. Look, I know it doesn't look tidy, I'm not professional, but I just want to say I kind of bit off more than I could chew, especially doing this on my own. It's been very challenging. This side was extremely challenging because I couldn't really get the rhythm. I couldn't work out how to do it properly. And a lot of the stuff, it didn't quite, you know, some of it fell onto the floor. Look, I'll show you. That's what happens when you're trying to do things, when you're trying to do a two-man job on your own. But most importantly is it's all secured to the frame. Remember, I've pinned it, I've pegged it, I've even tied it down to the inside of the frame. The thatch is not going to slide off. It needs to just be tidied up. Like I said earlier, it needs to be dressed. And then on the top of the roof, I've got lots of cedar bark, and I'm going to place it one long sheet about 1 meter wide by 3.5 meters long, and then I'm going to pin that down with a length of cedar bark, maybe 4 meters long. So I'll have a cedar log. So a cedar log pinning down the cedar bark, and then I'm going to secure it. The thatch isn't going to fall off because it's super secure. Remember, it's not a tidy job. I need to come back and finish it, but it's definitely going to be warmer and hold out, well, keep the rain out of the shelter. So on that note, thank you so much for watching. And remember at the beginning of the video, I did say that I would tell you why I'm here and what I'm doing. Well, the reason why I'm doing it is because in July, the 7th until the 10th of July, I would like to invite all of you to come along to this camp. It's a bit of a first. I'm putting on a big festival. There's myself and a few others. We're coming together and we're putting on a big music festival. Music and bushcraft festival. So we want to have a good time, we want to have a bit of a dance, a bit of fun, you know, a bit of a knees up, beer together, have a chat around the fire in the evening. There's going to be workshops, there's activities, there's things like paintballing, archery, there's spoon carving. There's loads of things going on right here, 7th until the 10th of July. I'm going to put a link below. If not, check out the wildinusfestival.co.uk. Again, thanks for watching. It isn't tidy. I'll come back and improve it. See you next time. Goodbye.